That was weak. Yeah. 3, 2. Welcome back to another episode of WristCheck Pod. The dynamic duo is back together again. Allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Perri.
And I'm Rashawn.
And we make up the WristCheck Podcast. Before we get into what we're up to tonight, I just want to remind you guys out there on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, the works, whatever you're watching or listening to us on, hit that subscribe button if this is your first time watching. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Keep it cute. And we'll see you on the other side. This evening, we have a very special guest, a really good friend of mine, solid guy, watch collector, in town, originally from the D.
Yes.
What up, though?
What up, though?
Karlos Williams.
What up, though? What up, though? Appreciate it, man.
My main man.
My dogs.
Back in New York City.
Yeah, man. I had to pull up on y'all real quick.
Respect.
You know what I'm saying? Gotta pull up on your people, man. So, and I'm a big believer in supporting your people in more ways than one. So the way I show up is like I literally show up.
He does.
Yes, you do.
He does. This is my guy. Solid dude. Man of very exquisite and fine taste.
Yes.
Loves watches, cars.
I do.
Food.
I do.
Experiences.
Yes.
Keep going.
This is
Gas me up. Gas me up. I was just playing.
this is my dude. And so we're going to get into sort of your story tonight, your connection with CP Time, which is the organization through whom we met originally. Shout out to Al and CQ.
Shout out to Al. What up, though?
Yes.
But you've seen the show. You know how this goes.
Yeah.
We always have to start with the honorary wrist check.
Got
Yes.
to.
You know how this goes. As is tradition, my man sitting across from me,
My dog.
who never repeats a watch.
Never. It was just crazy because like I'll be waiting for him to repeat one, and I just told him before we got on camera, like, yo, I ain't seen you in that, bro. Like,
What do you got on tonight, Mr. Smith?
So we're in a very special timepiece, as they all are.
As they all are.
As they all
Facts.
are. I am wearing the trusty Cellini Danos.
okay,
Yes.
good Rolly action.
Yes. So I had to share this watch on the show mainly because, you know, when I think of Karlos, right, I think of someone that screams legacy, right? He's always speaking about, you know, what it takes to kind of get to that next level. And he leads the charge in, you know, what he shares online, the people that he meets.
Facts.
And, you know,
If I can, for
Yes.
1 second, I mean, the eyewear game, I think you guys have both achieved a new level.
well, I definitely. Okay. So we're gonna go there, right? Obviously,
Yo.
Karlos is from Detroit, right? And we know that the Buffys and the Wires
And the
the Woods are definitely, you know, their expression.
Yeah, facts.
You know, doesn't matter where you are economically, you got your pair of
Gotta
Buffys.
have some yays on.
You might
have to.
you have to whether
Have
you
to.
whether you know what I mean, like you choose. Listen, am I gonna buy these yays or am I gonna pay my rent?
Oh, God.
I'm going for the yays.
But that's the thing from Detroit. It's a city of hustlers, people just like
Yes.
New York. So like,
Get to it.
If I buy them yays, I'm gonna still figure it out how
Yes.
to pay the rent. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like I might not pay the rent first, but I'm gonna get the yays. Like now, as I'm older, I'm gonna pay the rent first. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But in my
Yes.
younger days, high school, college, you just figure shit out. You know what I'm saying?
You have to.
You got to be yayed up.
Yes.
You have to.
And so, you know, I decided to wear the Cellini, and we were talking off camera. So I actually brought 3 new watches with me.
Wow.
My dog.
So you guys will see some new watches on the show, but I absolutely had to wear this one as I just got it back when I was hanging out with our good friend Eric Wynn.
Nice.
He actually engraved Mr. and Mrs. Smith on the back with my my marriage date.
Yeah, when you showed it to me, that's tough, man.
Beautiful.
I love that. That's the significance of that.
Thank you.
It's crazy. And
Thank
then the
you.
strap you got on it off the rose gold.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's my dog right there.
So, you know, thinking of legacy and keeping these things that we don't need at all, but, you know, it really signifying how far you've come, I said, you know what? I got to rock it.
Respect.
I love it, bro. Respect, bro. I rock
you.
with it. I
Respect.
rock with it.
I'll go next. We'll save our guest of honor for last. I'm repeating a watch. I'm wearing the Moser Pioneer Retrograde Seconds Midnight Blue. This is on loan from our friends over at H. Moser. Shout out to Max, Brett, and my main man, Claudio, who allowed me to kind of test drive this thing. It's a lot of watch for the price. Not an expensive timepiece. I think it retails for around $22,000. So it is on the pricier side, but when you're handling this thing, it definitely feels like it should be maybe double of the cost.
It has a really good weight to it. When you
It
hand
really
to me.
does. It's a 42 millimeter. I love the retrograde seconds. I think it's an awesome complication to deliver at that price point for a piece like this. When you turn it over, you look at the exhibition case back. Again, I think that's part of what makes you realize that maybe this could be priced a little higher. They've got the anthracite finishing on the bridges. They have their own, what they call Moser stripes, which is like a double Côte de Genève stripe. You can see the perlaging just on the outer rim of the movement. And then you got a skeletonized rotor, so you can see everything that's happening, even as the rotor is obstructing your view. I love this timepiece. I think it's super dope. It's also like very fashion forward. Felt like it matched the sneakers and the hoodie today, so I threw this on.
No, you clean. You clean. It's giving real New York. Real New York. Bro.
You heard that from a real Detroit player.
Yeah, I rock with it. You know, if we compliment what you got on, you know what I'm saying? Like, and same with y'all, like, being from NYC, one of the fashion capitals of America, if not the fashion capital of America. It's under debate because I'm from Detroit, so I gotta. Okay. We up there, but neither here nor there. But we give you comments like, yo, we really mean it because compliments don't come easy.
They don't. No.
But y'all style and swag is like, I rock with it. For
Appreciate you, man.
Just when it comes to the watches.
Thank you.
So you got something special on the wrist.
Very, very special.
This is a new watch alert for you.
It is a new watch alert. I don't know if you got the sound in the background edited after.
We can throw it in there.
Yeah, throw the sound in there. So I am currently wearing a 2025 Rolex Cosmograph Daytona. Yellow gold with the black subdials and the gold NC champagne dial. With the with the 2025s, I think they also included the ring around the bezel. So that wasn't before the ceramic; it was a piece of ceramic. But this is a very special watch for a lot of different reasons, which I'm sure we'll get into. But this is one of those. This is one of the ones, as they say, where you just put it on. The Oysterflex bracelet is so comfortable.
It's very nice.
For those who don't know, it's rubber and with a titanium inside of it, so it's very durable. You can dress it up, dress it down, and then it's a Rolex. It's yellow gold. Rolex does yellow gold different. They
do yellow gold very well.
Yeah, and it's just super comfortable. And I'm just still over the moon since I've had it for I'm just over the moon, bro. Yes. I'll get into why it's significant as well later. But it's super significant, and I don't know how I take this off.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Yeah. So this one is known as the Pikachu. Yes, is kind of what they've nicknamed it. Yeah. What I love personally about the Oysterflex bracelet on a precious metal Rolex timepiece is it's the perfect blend between luxury and sport.
100%.
And especially on a precious metal Daytona, which when you have it on the bracelet can feel a little bit much. Some people do enjoy that. Yeah. Me personally, it's a lot of precious metal for me. You can feel the weight. Yeah. I think the Oysterflex does a really nice job at kind of sportying it up. Yeah. And like you said, you can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's equally as good with the suit as it is with jeans and sneakers.
100%.
Yeah.
And then speaking of equal, right? Because you used a perfect word in equal, right? That has a nice equal balance to it in terms of even it being precious metal. You know that there's some precious metal pieces that'll be on something outside of a bracelet. And it kind of feels like the watch case is a little bit overpowering.
100%.
But with the Oysterflex, they were actually able to make it equally balanced.
Yes, they were.
I agree.
And as you mentioned, it has a strip of titanium inside. Yeah. Which kind of helps it keeps form. Yeah. It's a sweet piece, man. And I have to say, I really do like the touch of the outer rim bezel being precious metal, kind of enclosing the ceramic bezel. I think that's a really, really nice touch.
It gives it more of a modern feel to me.
It does, yeah. And there's a lot of slight little changes that they've made on 100%. The dial too that I feel really brings it together.
And then also with the pushers on the side, now it's equal because before on the steel Panda, it's not the same size. Now it's like the same size. So it's like, it's not offset.
And I see what you're doing with the fit there too, man. Got to coordinate.
Yeah, you got to coordinate. Little Van Cleef and Cartier. You know, I love Cartier. Since we're in New York, you know, Kith.
There we go.
Batman is one of my favorite characters. I'm really into comic books, and so you know, it just felt the Batman jacket, Kith jacket, just felt right. It just felt right. You know,
you're like a superhero today.
Exactly, man. Exactly. You ain't seen me and Batman in the same place at the same time. You know
I feel you. So, getting into things. I want you know, one of the things that we never really talked about, we talk fairly often, is how this kind of all started for you. I don't know where the bug actually caught you, where you started like getting into watches.
Yeah, my grandfather.
Really?
Yeah, so I got into watches from my grandfather, Ezel Patillo. He passed in 96. So when I was 10 years old, around like a week after my birthday. And before he passed, you know, he had watches, you know, mostly Movados. But just, you know, I had a couple Casios, and I just got into it because he wore them.
Yeah.
And to me, my grandfather was the coolest man in the world. Like, he was that guy, like in real life. You know, like when he passed away, you thought the mayor passed away because everybody was at the funeral. And so my attachment to watches is when I get a watch or I'm speaking about timepieces, I instantly think about my grandfather, you know, who's like, you know, father figure for me. You know what I'm saying? Well, obviously I have my dad there, but granddad was just, you know, another level for me, you know what I'm saying? So I got into watches from there, and then as a continuation of that, my grandmother gifted me his Movado. I think it's from like 70 something.
Yeah.
It's probably like a 33 mil chronograph with a gold bezel. She put a brand new brown alligator strap on there. It's in the original box with the original receipt.
Oh, wow.
I think it might have either came from, this gonna take it back for y'all, either Hudson's or Sears.
Okay.
You know, probably at Northland in Detroit, which for those who don't know, Northland was the first mall in America. So it was just cool to have all that original with the watch. And I've only worn the watch maybe once or twice because I hold it in such high regard. I don't want nothing to happen to it. I don't want to break it. So time to time I just look at it.
It's a family heirloom now.
Yes.
Heirloom, I just look at it. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of goes into this piece as well. I kind of alluded to it earlier why it's significant because I got this watch the news about this watch maybe 3 weeks after she passed recently. Okay. So, you know, that kind of lifted my spirits up, you know, and I felt like that was kind of her way of saying, you're going to be all right.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So when I think about this watch, that's the extra meaning to it, is the attachment to not only my grandfather, but the continuation to my grandmother. So, you know, I'll probably never, ever get rid of this watch just because of the timing. So when I posted this on my social today, I said timing is everything.
Yeah, who shot the social media video too? Because that was like very epic.
Yeah, man. So her name is Ashley.
And we'll throw it up and show it too.
Yeah, her name is Ashley, my girlfriend. And
shout out to Ashley.
Shout out to Ashley. She's off camera. Fly. Like, I mean, first of all, fellas, I want to say this real quick, just so y'all hear me. If you are flyer than your girl, you are doing it wrong. Your girl should be flyer than you.
Yes.
My girl is flyer than me. Exponentially. So if you think I'm fresh on camera, just imagine what she looks like.
Yeah, y'all can't even imagine right now. She came in with the fur.
With the fur.
With the mink, you know, minked up. Chanel, little AP.
Yes.
VVS's, you know. Yeah, I got to brag on, but she's, you know, she's global marketing specialist. She's a global marketing manager. I'm sorry, let me get it right. For like a top 3 law firm globally. I'm not gonna say the name, but Google is your friend. And she's just a great person, and she's like my de facto in-house marketing guru. So
I love that.
Sometimes reluctantly, but
she hooked it up though. The video was epic.
Yeah, man.
Yes. He came out of Rolex looking like a superhero.
Man, came out feeling good, chest out, head up. I'm just like, you know, what's good? You know what I mean? So she did my video. So thank you. I appreciate it.
That's awesome.
You know, it's an amazing video.
You mentioned your grandfather, and I think that resonates with me just hearing that, because my grandfather as well was sort of where this kind of fascination with timepieces started with me. Yeah. It's always funny to me how like the common denominator, I think, for a lot of collectors is Movado.
Yeah. Movado was like elementary, middle school, high school. If anybody in school got a Movado, you're doing it. You're doing it. You know what I'm saying? You got a Movado, you lit. Especially the two-tone black dial, that was the one. The black dial with the stainless steel or the black dial two-tone joint, you was on. Yes. You know what I mean? You come to school with that, the honeys is like, yo, what's up? How you get that? You know what I mean? Like, they was like, what's good? So
it's so interesting. Movado is like one of those brands that like, everyone, it's recognized the world over.
1000%.
You know what I'm saying? Like probably almost as recognizable as Rolex to some extent, right?
Yes,
like I don't know
100%.
anyone who doesn't know what Movado is.
Yeah.
And shout out to that brand because
Shout
they're
out to
still
Movado.
pushing. You know, the Movado Museum is still an incredible timepiece.
100%.
They just did a collab with fellow artist friend Derek Adams.
Yes.
Where they did a series of watches with like different works on it. That's pretty dope. We'll have him on the show soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Movado. Like,
Yeah.
shout out to Movado.
Shout out to Movado.
And I'm thinking
We might need to hit him up for,
man.
for a little payola.
I had some good time. So what's crazy is like outside of my grandfather's Movado, my first Movado, like kind of that was gifted to me before that actually, because I got that later in life. My dad gave me his Movado.
Oh, wow.
He used to work at Unisys Corporation for like 20-some years, and his 20th gift was a Movado watch, and he gave me the Movado watch. So shout out to Pops.
That's incredible.
Movado watch. So yeah.
So you get the Movados. What's next for you in terms of like Karlos is looking to get his own timepiece for himself?
You mean now or back then?
Well, what kind of like I want to know like what really set it off when you're like, all right, yo, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. What really set it off is honestly, man, like I always said that when I get to a certain place, I'm buying a Rollie.
Okay.
Because being from Detroit, it's like certain things, we call them trophies. Certain things is just a trophy. You know what I mean? There's levels, obviously, but like I said, when I get to a certain financial point in life, I got to get a Rollie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know which Rollie, but I'm going to get a Rollie. So I did my, more extensive research, and I started talking to people I knew that were into watches or whatnot because I didn't want to buy the wrong thing. And it happened when I was in Vegas working. I used to work for the government, and I was moving to DC for a consulting role, and like that was like my first kind of big jump financially.
Okay.
And at that point, I thought I was doing it. I made it. You know what I mean? So now it's like I got to get the Rollie.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, and my first Rolex that I bought myself was a two-tone silver dial from 2005.
Okay.
I got it from Bob's Watches. Shout out to Bob's Watches. Got it from Bob's Watches. And what's crazy is when I ordered it,
It was a Datejust.
It was a Datejust. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Datejust on Jubilee.
Okay.
What's funny is that, you spend, I think it was 5,500, 5 bands, right? Which
Yeah.
is the most I've ever spent on like anything outside of a vehicle. You know what I mean? And so I ordered it, and my dumb ass put the wrong address.
Oh.
Dog. So I'm checking UPS like, yo. So it's like out for delivery. You want to like, you ain't never seen nobody like walking around a very affluent neighborhood. And just imagine me just walking, pacing around the block looking for the UPS man. I'm like, please, Lord, don't call the cops on me because they know I don't live in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, please. And I was staying with my guy brother at the time. Shout out to John, who's also one of my, I won't say father, but him and my grandfather were really close. It's like big bro.
Okay.
Former Secret Service, all that good stuff. So I'm staying in his crib when I first moved to DC at the time for the second time. And so I'm walking around the block. So finally I saw the UPS truck pulling up. He was 2 blocks over. I just happened to be on the right place, right time.
Wow.
I say, yo, my name is Karlos. I think you're delivering this to the wrong house because I put the wrong address. So I showed him, he was cool, black dude, showed him my ID, and he gave it to me. Because just think, you got a Rollie coming to you in the mail, and you put the wrong address, I'm sick. Like,
it's gone.
Oh, man, like,
Yes.
I'm sick. So
And then
thankfully,
Bob's gonna be like, it ain't my fault.
dog, it ain't my fault. You can't insure it for 5 bands. You know what I mean? You might get up to 1,000, I think. So I'm sick. So finally, I get the piece. I go to the basement because you got like a room in it. So I open it up, and I'm just like, Christmas.
Yes.
I finally got a Rollie. And so everybody from Detroit that's gonna see this is gonna know what I'm talking about is when you buy your first Rollie.
Yes.
It don't matter if it's a 36 or 40, 41. It don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
I got a Rollie.
Yes.
You can't tell me shit. And that was like right before Thanksgiving in 2019. So I went to the crib at this big party we have around Thanksgiving we go to every year. I'm straight.
extra heavy.
Dog. I'm pointing,
Short sleeve
the
shirts.
drinks is over here, the bar over here. Hey, that's my man's over there. Let me holler at him real quick. You know what I'm saying? I got the yays on. So I'm like, my wrist is out. And this is just a 36, 2 tones. It's to us, we're supposed to different watches now, but at the time, I'm like, you can't tell me shit.
Yeah.
And I had on all black with the peacoat, the t-shirt peacoat combo.
Yes.
Oh, and some products. Oh, come on, dog.
You was stepping.
Man, I was outside that night, bro. When I tell you, and this is way before I met Ashley, obviously, but I was outside, rolling up.
Yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? And so that was kind of where it's like it started rolling because now financially I can actually purchase the watches.
Yeah.
Because I was always on some shit where I was like, man, I got to get what I want,
Yep.
and it got to be authentic.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, have I dabbled from like when I was younger, didn't know no better? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
But it got to the point where I said, you know what? it don't sit right in my spirit.
Because you know.
Because I know.
Yeah.
If don't nobody else in the room know, I know.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
I'm real big on authenticity. I'm real big on like, you know, if you can't do it, just wait.
Yeah.
One thing about being from the crib is that we gonna stay down until we come up.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, so I should stay down until I can come up. So one day I was this, and next day I'm just rolling up.
Yeah.
Like, damn, Los, you.
How did it feel to at that moment? This was the most that you ever spent on a watch. How did that feel?
I was like, fuck, I just spent $5. Like, you know what I mean? I could have put that in, but at the same time, I had it already. It's not like it didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
So I felt good. Like, you know what?
But I feel it's an excellent point too, because I feel like, you know, when you get to that point where you're able to afford that really nice thing that you want, it's expensive.
Yes.
That's huge.
It's huge.
Yes.
And, you know, expensive is relative, but like for me at the time, 5 bands, $5,500 is a lot.
Yeah. That was the most you ever spent on a watch.
That was the most I ever spent on a watch. A f***ing watch. Like a watch.
Yeah.
Something I don't need at all. But I wanted it. And from that point, it went from Rolly. I ended up going to Tourneau, Pentagon City, built a relationship with them through Al. Shout out to Al.
So at what point did you and Al meet?
Man, I met Al 2019, like
so we're
around
talking
that
about
same
Al,
time.
who was the head of
CP Time.
Yes.
Yep. So I met Al around the same time. I had a mutual friend that was like, yo, my homeboy is in the watches too. Y'all should meet. I'm like, bet. So she set it up, and we just like we met up at like a coffee shop in Pentagon City, and it just instantly clicked. Like, you know what I mean? We just talking about life. We're talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just cool. He's just really solid, good people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it was.
Isn't it
dope.
amazing how like this hobby like just brings people
crazy,
together?
bro. Like even us, like we met from a watch meetup, and now we tapped in. I'm pulling up. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, you meet. You're from Detroit.
Yeah.
You spend some time in DC. You end up meeting Al. Now Al has this amazing watch club in the DC area.
Yes.
And you guys are even collaborating on doing events.
100%.
We had, collectively went to Detroit. Where you hosted a CP Time event.
Yeah, I hosted a CP Time event in Detroit, which was amazing because to do something at the crib is like something I'm passionate about and I love. I had some of the homies pull up, and they were just, you know, sometimes they hear you say like, oh, you in the watches, and they don't really get it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Sure. I think everyone looks at you a little weird at first. Like, what you mean,
like, what you mean you in the watches? What the f does that mean? Like, you got a watch group, which I'll be sitting around and watching. What y'all watching? I'm like, oh, like wristwatch, timepiece. Like, so she told me you have to start saying timepieces when you say watch. It don't, but with timepiece, it kind of elevates what you're saying a little bit more. So now
I was like, tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more. You know what I'm saying? So I hosted that Out of Office Garage. Shout out to
shout out to those
Andrew.
guys.
Shout out to Andrew, the owner. He was super cool, you know. And so to describe for everybody listening what Out of Office Garage is, it's in Birmingham, Michigan. Imagine a huge garage full of exotic high-end cars. I'm talking 911s, Ferraris, Lambos. The DeLorean was in there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You know what I'm saying? But then imagine adjacent to it, connected to it, is a co-working space.
Yes.
And so back to what we were saying, when it brings people together, if you like nice watches, you most likely like nice cars.
Yes.
If you like nice cars, you most likely like nice watches. Or it's a gateway into each other.
Exactly.
It's a revolving door.
Yes, it
and
is.
so that was super dope to be the host that. Some Detroit Lions players pulled up. Shout out to the Lions.
Yeah, shout out to the Lions.
Next year is gonna be our
Next year's our year.
Yeah, man. It was rough. I'm not even gonna go back. It was rough. But it was just amazing to be able to have all those people in the room. A lot of people that I knew, a lot of people that I did not know, and to be able to talk about watches, to be the host. Working with Al and CQ and working with everybody in the group is just amazing. And it just brings people together that you never thought you would have met. You know what I mean? Like, and it's very inclusive. Like our group specifically is extremely inclusive. And when I say inclusive, I mean, doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter what you have on. It don't fucking matter what watch you have on.
Yes.
Don't wear Apple Watch, but
or if you're gonna do a double wrist.
Just come double wrist. But it just brings people together, and I try to explain to people who are not hip to our watch community, our timepiece community, that you don't have to come in wearing a Rollie. You don't have to come in wearing a Patek or RM. You could just come in as yourself. Shit, come in with a Movado. If you just come. The most important part is come.
I think because the most important part is the relationships
1,000%
that are built, right? And
1,000%.
that event was great because there was so many different types of watches and people in the room. And then shout out to our friends over at Formex.
Shout out.
Marcus and James and those guys who came through and helped sponsor the event, but also brought some watches.
Some great pieces.
Some really amazing pieces for people to check out.
Yeah.
And so it created an atmosphere where you had Pateks in the room, Rolexes, you had Casios and G-Shocks. Yes. And then we had this amazing brand which offered a moment of like discovery in addition to the cars that were adjacent.
Man.
It was a really great event.
It was crazy. They had a 911R in there.
Yeah, there's some crazy
God.
stuff.
It was Candy Candy Store, man.
Yeah.
Candy Candy Store. It was great.
You know, just in how passionate, you know, I hear you speak about this hobby, something that comes to mind, it's almost like when I think of you, Karlos, I think like life is good.
I appreciate that.
You have like this overwhelming like infectiousness of positivity.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And it kind of makes sense as to why you are in the role that you are in with CP Time. And I kind of wanted to expound on that and just like how much value you've brought to the community, the group. And you're kind of like that liaison that kind of bridges the gap from city to city to city. So can you expound on that?
Yeah, for sure. So founding member of CP Time. Shout out to Al, shout out to CQ, shout out to Marco. And my role in the group is kind of like increased, since we've started. It went from just, hey, I'm a founding member to now like we're having the conversations on the back end about events and making sure that they're moving smoothly. Like we have one coming up in Texas. I currently live in Houston, Texas. So that's gonna be super dope. I'm gonna be heavily involved with that. And just what I would consider myself, like you said, the liaison, where like if someone says, describe CP Time like in a person, outside of obviously Al and CQ, it would probably be me, because I'm like the connector where, I'll see somebody it's your first time at our event. I'm introducing you to everybody in the room. You know what I mean? Because I want you to meet everybody in the room, because I want everybody to experience what I've experienced personally, which is the relationships, which is meeting these amazing people. When I go to Cali, I can hit up Trevor. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I can go to any city in America and hit up somebody that I've met at one of our events.
Check in.
Yes.
Check in. I'm checking in. I'm in the city. What's good? Pull up.
Yes.
It's funny because when we were working with you guys on the event in LA, and we were setting everything up with Ulysse Nardin. Shout out to Aisha and FX and Jessica. Thomas, one of our producers, lives in LA. And I remember we had a big call with Thomas because I couldn't go out and Rashawn couldn't go out, but Thomas held it down for us. And I remember telling Thomas, I was like, yo, you got to find Karlos.
Yes.
Like he told me.
Meet him and get him on camera.
Yes.
He's the coolest dude.
That's my dog. My man. Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
Yes. I also want to chime in because you mentioned Trevor, of Perri.
Shout out.
And when I seen you do the episode with him, I was looking back and I was like, man, this dude Karlos is like a watch influencer now.
Hey, hold on. Hey, I mean,
how do you feel, in your transition, right? Because you do have a voice now, and it's bigger than you just being a collector. And now feeling that you have a responsibility to the communities. What does that mean to you?
Man, honestly, bro, like it didn't click till you just said it. Real like I do this just because I love it. Like, I pulled up on y'all because I rock with y'all heavy. Like, I don't care what y'all had going on tomorrow. I'm pulling up. Yeah. Like, hey, literally, Perri was like, yo, when can you come to New York, film an episode? Tomorrow.
And you came.
Yeah, like I'm pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got the event, pull up. So, yeah, man, it's dope. Honestly, bro, like if I could like do this forever, like I'm gonna do it forever. Like I have no reason to stop. And so my wish is, or my hope is that I can not only connect with people who are already in the community, but also bring people into the community and be a one of my good friends. Shout out to Andrew Hill. He has this concept he learned. He shared it with me. It's the lighthouse effect, where it's like I'm not necessarily like preaching or like telling you what to do or how to go about, but if I can exhibit and show by actions and my words and be a lighthouse to people a guide, for lack of a better term, I can be that guide and that lighthouse for people who are kind of searching for that hobby or searching for that community or searting for their tribe.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I'm saying? So if I can be the lighthouse for that and people say, yo, they see a video I put up on Instagram or they see me just out or see me at an event and I could be a lighthouse to how I feel like the watch community should be, I think that would be amazing. I would love to be that. So that's something that naturally happens, which to your point, it literally just clicked because to me, I was never necessarily trying to be a watch influencer, but if that happens naturally, that would be great.
I mean, it is. When you think about it,
that.
I mean, I'm sure in your circle, and the places you frequent and amongst the people that you hang out with, they're calling you and hitting you up about watches.
1,000%. Especially now, like it's just
Yeah.
increasing. It's increased exponentially since probably 2019 when I had the 36 two-tone. I thought I was hot shit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have friends who are like, yo, I want to buy my first Rolex. What should I buy? Where should I buy it from? How much should I spend?
Yep.
Just ask me my general thoughts. People who already have watches like, yo, what should I get next?
Yeah.
Where should I get it from? Who should I talk to?
Yes.
And so it's like a spectrum of people who are either trying to get the first one or who are already like knee deep into the community. And like, yo, like I saw you got the GMT. I saw you got the Pepsi. I saw you got the Daytona. Like, and now I feel like it's a noticeable jump.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like literally, like since I posted this, because like y'all knew I was getting it. A couple people that are close to me knew that it was on my radar. I would say
For sure.
And so, but once I like really posted it, it was like, yo, like
it's real.
Even people who casually know Rolex,
Yes.
they know what the fuck a Daytona is.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you got a gold Daytona.
You talking numbers.
I'm just saying. Hey, shout out to Larry June. That's my dog.
Yeah,
that's
shout
one of
out
my
to Larry.
favorite hip hop
Yeah.
artists and friend of the pod, as y'all have had him on before. But and she'll tell you, like, when I get in my whip, what am I listening to?
Yes.
And it's only between 2 or 3 people. And
Yeah.
June, Payroll.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Drake. Like,
Yes.
they own. So, but if I could be a lighthouse, bro, to answer your question,
No,
that'd be great.
I think you are. And you got some more watches here.
I do.
So this is the latest acquisition. This just came by just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I got picked this up Saturday.
Yeah.
3 days ago.
And so you have a couple of superheroes here on the table.
I do.
We got a Batman,
Batman on Oysterflex.
and we got a Pepsi,
Yep.
Superman colors.
Yeah, Superman
Yes.
colors,
So talk to me about these two. Now I remember the last time I saw you, this was the only Rolex in the collection.
That was the only one.
This was this
Yeah.
was the first sports model that you got.
Yeah. My Batman, and this watch is great. Like, to me, like, I love a sub, but I feel like this is like a little bit extra on it, a little bit more sauce.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because another reason why I love this watch is because I travel a lot.
Yeah.
And so I talked about this, I think, on Trevor's podcast, Perri. Like, I always know what time it is in Detroit. I always know what time it is at home.
Yes.
I always know what time it is, where my grandmother was. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that part, to have a GMT and know every day, like, I can look and see what time it is in Detroit, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
That is, like, amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight.
I want to ask, right? Because you do have some heavy hitters, right, in the collection. They're grails to most, right? And when you're talking about being a lighthouse to people that want to get into this hobby, it's funny that, you become the watch guy, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
everybody's asking,
Yeah.
how do you get a watch?
Yeah.
You have some of the most coveted watches in the world. What
Yeah.
is...
Yeah.
What's
What
the
is-
secret sauce?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your process in speaking to people that aren't familiar with the
Yeah.
hobby because they may believe that it comes easy?
It does not. I would just say that off top. Like, and as y'all know, like, I'm sure it's watches y'all want where it's like, we gotta wait, regardless of our connections.
Yeah, everybody waits.
Yeah. But I will say being authentic.
Yes.
Like, being yourself.
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter if they, the AD, authorized dealer, or whoever you're getting a watch from, it doesn't matter if they know you're not being authentic. You know whether
Yes.
you're being authentic or not. So I just try to lead with just being myself. Like, you gonna fuck with me or you not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I'm gonna get the watch regardless.
Yeah.
Is if you give it to me. I'm gonna get the watch.
Yes.
It's either am I gonna get it from you or somebody else.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know what I mean? But I'm really big on building relationships. And she'll tell you, like, I take personal. Like, if I'm really with you, you're not with me like that. Like, I'm gonna feel a way about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just how I am. So that's why people that I do with, I outwardly show it. Like, I'm pulling up. Like, I'm at your function. I'm calling you. I'm checking on you. I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And so when it comes to the watch process, I prefer to get all my watches at retail, which all these watches that you see that I have are at retail. So
Flex.
I got this from the AD. It's on tape. I got video evidence. But just being authentic and genuine, man,
Yeah.
like, that's the only way you're gonna get it for real. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how much money you got, it's people with all the money in the world and it's watches that they can't get, or it's things that they can't attain. And I think that relationships are super important, especially in the watch community, where it's really in who you know.
It is.
You know what I mean? And if you treat people right, you genuine, Whatever is for you is for you.
Yes.
And you're going to get it.
I love that you said that though too. If you treat people right, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people miss with this hobby is that I think a lot of the people that are winning in terms of getting allocations. I mean, there are two sides of the coin, right? There are people that can they got more money than God and they can just make magic happen.
100%.
But for those that don't, it really does boil down to the relationships and how you treat people, because you don't always need this crazy spend history to get these coveted watches. Rolex makes over 1 million watches. They got plenty to go around. And oftentimes it's a dealer, authorized dealer, or maybe a mom and pop shop that carries Rolex who just says, you know what? I like this person.
Yes.
And I want to make this happen for them.
I'm going to tell you the story how I got this, now that you say that. So I'm not going to say where, but we're an authorized dealer.
Sure.
Right? And so we're actually looking for watches for her. So she's trying on a rose gold, two-tone rose gold 36 date just, diamond bezel, diamond indices. I think it was a silver dial. Tough. But we don't really like rose gold because, on our black skin, we like yellow gold. They wear yellow gold in Africa, you feel me?
Yes.
White gold is cool too, but yellow gold specifically. But she was looking for a two-tone 36 mother of pearl diamond indices. So I told her, if it's not what you want, like, let's just wait to get what you want. So we're sitting there, and the GM of the store, he's there with us or whatever. They've seen us multiple times, and we just been cool. Like, nothing, some people are extra when they go to AD. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I'm rich, I got money. Let me get a 5711. Like, what? Like, let me get a Panda. Like, how? I got money. Like, no, it don't work like that. So we're sitting there, and he looks at me, he says, your Daytona's on the way. We're working on it. Of course you are, whatever. But he was like, is there anything else you want? Just like that. And I just, I'm thinking like, what's like, nothing crazy, but like, what should I say at the time? I said, GMT. And he looked at me just like this. He was like, I'll be right back. And so I'm thinking, and again, in my mind, I'm like, he's going to bring out like a two-tone.
Sure.
GMT.
Root
like,
beer, you're thinking.
I'm thinking root beer, or I'm thinking full gold.
That's usually how that plays.
Yeah, I'm thinking full gold or two-tone.
Yes.
Rose gold or all rose root beer. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking that.
Because they buy this $40,000 watch.
Buy this $40,000 watch and you get you a Panda. Like, maybe. Yeah. So he comes out maybe 5 minutes later. Like, I'm not even looking at him when he walks out, because I'm looking at her. And he has a GMT on Batgirl, on Jubilee.
Yeah.
And just says, here. Would you like this?
Crazy. Would you like this?
What?
Hey.
Yo,
Yes.
I have not put out my card that fast and so long. I put it out instantly. I don't even got to try it on here. I don't want you to second guess and think about it. But no, he literally, and I didn't even have this on my list. That's what's crazy. This was not on my list when I got this.
Wow.
We just happened to be in the store. And when I tell people that story, they'd be
I
like,
can see people in the chat now. What AD was this?
no, I'm not telling. But they was like, I tell people that story, they like, what the fuck? Like, really? Because 99.999% of the time, that never happens.
No, of course not.
Ever. And he literally walked out and handed me a GMT. And I was like, I bet. Retail.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But the power of relationships, you clearly made
That's
an
it.
impression on him. And he was just like, you know what? I just want to do something nice.
Yeah.
And I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Power of positivity.
That's
The
it.
power of positivity.
And we always go in there and we nice. We chop it up. They have a bar in there. So, we get a little, little liquor.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it was cool how I got this, and I could feel away because it wasn't a call, like but at the end of the day, it's like I still got it.
Better than a call.
Bro, the story is crazy.
Yeah,
like,
it's a great surprise.
saying this compared to I got a call compared to no, he just brought it out and asked me if I wanted it. Like hell yeah,
Yeah.
Batman, nigga, what?
Now that's not the only one. You got a Pepsi here.
I do have a Pepsi.
At
retail.
At retail. So you swapped the bracelets on
I swapped the bracelet. So this came on the Jubilee, and then I
this
swapped
one
it for
was
that.
on the Oyster.
And I think it just fits. Like, I think everybody who knows about GMT is like the Pepsi goes on the Jubilee and the Batman goes on the Oyster. And
I feel opposite. Really? I do.
I didn't mind it.
But I respect it.
I did not
Yes.
mind this on the Jubilee. But when I put the Jubilee on the Pepsi, I was like, yeah, it's because it originally came on the Jubilee.
I think it's great. I think it looks great. For me, because the Pepsi was first offered on Oyster, I feel like it has to be on Oyster. But that's just how it works in my weird head.
I thought it was on Jubilee first.
No, I was on Oyster first.
Really?
Yeah.
I learned something today.
Jubilee came out later.
You can't be friends with people you can't learn from.
Yes.
For real.
Amen.
Like, I learn something from them all the time, just by osmosis of conversation.
But what I will say is, and we've long debated on this, I think the Oyster looks better on vintage. I think on modern Jubilee,
That's fair.
is more handsome.
That's fair.
Yeah. So now here's the thing, right? You just picked this up too.
I did.
Flex.
Yeah, I did. I got that in December.
You got this a few weeks before you picked that up.
Allegedly, yes. Allegedly, yes.
Got to put a disclaimer.
Allegedly, I got them close proximity within a couple.
Allegedly. We won't say from where.
Yeah.
But what, maybe 6-7 weeks apart?
Yeah, let's say 2 months.
Okay.
Let's say 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, let's say 2 months.
So what's the story with this? How did the Pepsi come? Because this wasn't on your list either.
No, not directly. Indirectly. It was kind of like, I had an original list, which included what I have on my wrist right now.
Right.
But then it came about, we're like, hey, I might have to wait a little longer for the Daytona. Is there anything else you would be interested in? And I said, well, I think it'd be kind of cool to have a Pepsi and a Batman. I think that's kind of cool.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, because to me, they're different watches. Like the Batman,
They are.
the Batman to me, is something I would wear. First of all, I wear all my watches to the office. However, this one is more casual. You know what I mean? I'm going to Whole Foods. We're going to, run errands. I might throw this on and not even think about it. You know what I mean? And then that I might throw on kind of afternoon, evening type situation because the Jubilee kind of, I feel elevates a little bit in the colors. But this is more chill. And yeah, man, I was like, yeah, a GMT, a Pepsi. All right. And so, yeah, and yeah, that's exactly how it happened, bro. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
just as simple as that.
Just simple. It goes back to my original point when you treat people well and you're just genuine.
Amazing things can happen.
Amazing things can happen without even trying, and just really just surround yourself with good people. And yeah, man, it was just awesome how I got that because again, I was trying to get my Daytona and I ended up getting a Pepsi and then still got the Daytona, which I thought was great. So it's cool, man. Just treat people right and be yourself, and it's gonna work out.
So you got this amazing trio. What's next for Karlos? What is Karlos looking at?
Man, I mean, obviously a Panda Daytona would be great. However, I actually talked to Al about this.
Okay.
And he made some really good points. He's like, Karlos, you have the top Daytona that you pretty much can get outside of, something that's off catalog or gem set, or he has a Le Mans. Outside of that, those type of watches, it ain't really nowhere to go no more for you. You have a yellow gold Daytona Oysterflex. That's dress it up, dress it down, wear it to any occasion. So he's always talked to me about going outside of Rolex and try a couple other brands, obviously Patek and AP. I would love to have a Royal Oak. I'm sure AP or someone from AP is a friend of the show.
Sure.
So if you are watching, I am a fan of the brand and I rock with AP a lot. Audemars PK, or is it PK or PK?
PK.
Okay, I had it right. Yeah. And, just a little silver, white, black dial, nothing crazy. You don't got to give me the blue dial, but if you do, that'd be great. But she has actually an AP. And so, yeah, I got to brag on you a little bit. She has a 38 mil chronograph blue dial.
And it's beautiful.
And it's beautiful. And so I would love to match her with AP.
So we need a matching AP.
We need matching APs, man.
I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, we match APs. But I think for me, I would love a Royal Oak, and I would also love they discontinued the 5712 Patek. So what's the gold version of the Nautilus? Is the 5811?
The 5811, the white gold?
The white gold.
Time only?
That's crazy.
Well, time and date. Yeah.
Time and date.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy. I think those would be nice. But I think AP is more realistically would be next. But
yeah.
Patek, it's a couple I think the complications. The one.
Are there any brands outside of sort of that trio that you're looking at?
Yeah, so I love Vacheron.
Okay.
Vacheron is dope. I think their blue, I think, is the best blue.
The boutique blue.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
I think
boutique blue is crazy.
It is very nice.
On the overseas,
Yep.
It is really nice. So I would not be opposed to that. I would not be opposed.
I won't be opposed.
I wouldn't be mad if they want to just holler at your boy.
response.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Steel 222.
Sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? And so I want to dip my toe in vintage at some point.
Okay.
I don't know where. I'm thinking vintage Piaget. Because they got some crazy combos.
They got some stuff. 70s and 80s Piaget is crazy. I mean, even the 90s stuff is kind of wild
the
too.
opal
If you
dials,
the stone
crazy.
dials and stuff. Yeah, there's some
Yep.
sick stuff out there.
Some of the gems, diamonds they do on the braces, that's. I think what's my man's name?
You know what, Piaget, I feel 80s, 90s Piaget feels very Detroit.
Yes.
I know,
It's very player.
yeah, it's real player. With some buffs on. You know, have a Piaget, right? I'm
Yeah, you got it.
I got to make sure. Hey, they got to make sure I'm right. You know, with some gaiters on, like what?
Yes.
Slacks, man.
Yeah.
What? With the turtleneck
Yes.
and the pea coat. Oh,
Yes.
no turtleneck. All right, I was being funny, but no, like I think that's vintage. I like the vintage Cobra APs for some reason.
Those are dope.
Those
nice.
are crazy. With
Yeah.
the diamonds.
Those go crazy.
Yeah, yellow and white gold. That would be crazy. There's a lot of vintage Cartier tanks out there. Like
Yeah.
I'm not well versed in the tanks, but I've seen some. You know, like when I was here last time, he had that yellow gold tank. He had that was crazy. Remember that?
We had Cameron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he had on the teardrop bracelet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love Cartier as a brand. You know, in general.
Yeah.
So a vintage Cartier tank, I think, would go crazy. So there are a couple brands from a vintage standpoint I wouldn't mind, and you can't go wrong with a vintage 36 like Day-Day.
No.
Like, I mean,
It's classic.
it's classic, like 1986 birth year Day-Day.
Tony Soprano.
Man,
Yes.
what flex?
Vibes.
Like just walk in with a Day-Day t-shirt and jeans, like it ain't.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just
an
out here-
everyday piece.
I'm just out here with a Day-Day, just for no reason.
You know, some that always comes to mind as well is like cultural relevance.
100%.
And coming from the Motor City, right, especially one of the most black affluent cities in America.
The most black city.
It is the most. Listen,
Between you got Detroit, Memphis, and Baltimore. It's
yes,
black.
all black.
Yeah, black as
Yes,
That might be the name of the episode.
Yo,
real black, extra black.
Black and black.
Yes.
You know, for real.
You know, we speak of cultural, you know, relevance and, you know, how much is meant for you to acquire these things. Is there anything outside of the norms that you do collect?
Well, you
Oh,
know-
just like outside of watches. in
Outside of
general?
watches,
Oh.
cars, and
Okay, so I'll give you two. First, Cartier glasses.
yes.
You know, you're from Detroit. You gotta have the yays.
Yes.
You gotta be yayed up. What's crazy is that when you talk about like cultural like stuff, like Detroit has been tied to Cartier, especially Cartier glasses, for so long. It's like synonymous. Like if you see
Yeah.
somebody with some buffs and they wearing them right, they from Detroit. Because people wear buffs and they don't wear them right. Like,
Yeah.
you don't. You're not from Detroit. I ain't gonna say where you from, but you ain't from Detroit.
You're from Detroit.
You might be from Atlanta. they trying to steal your
saying
thunder.
it. I'm not saying it, bro. Like, I fuck with the A. I got people that I rock with the A, but they did say that, and they are factually incorrect.
We had to put some cultural relevance
Yeah,
there.
man, it's Detroit. But yeah, I collect Yays. So the pair I have on right now, they are Blackwoods. So those are nicknamed the Mykonos is what it's officially called in the Cartier lookbook. I think it's from like the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Shout out to my dog Chris. He's from Detroit. He lives in Atlanta. He has a company called The Collection.
Okay.
And a lot of us, you know, my boys that have Yays, we got our Yays from him.
That's awesome.
I bought and sold him glasses as well. So shout out to him. But these are called the Mykonos. These are Blackwoods. These are very rare actually because these are more rare than buffs. These are more rare than like a lot of woods. Like you're not gonna see these. I haven't seen these on anybody else yet. You know what I mean? And the reason why I bought them was for that reason. Because yes, I love buffs, but you know, everybody got buffs. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people got buffs, which is fine, which is great.
Yeah.
You ain't got these though. You know what I'm saying? And so you may have like spent more on yours, but like you can't go find these in this condition. Like this is like really good condition. So with the ruthenium, like they might have to Google ruthenium. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how do you spell that? You know,
Yeah, how do you spell
how do you spell that?
I love that.
Yeah, so I love Cartier glasses. I obviously have buffs. I got some gold woods, which are one of my favorite pairs to wear as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like Cartier glasses is just a thing. Like she'll tell you, like I'm always got my Yays on. Like I rarely don't wear them. You know what I mean? Unless I'm like at the gym.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Then even then, like I could wear them. Like, I go do incline chest or some buffs. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be that guy.
Yes.
You know. So outside of Cartier glasses, before I get to the car, you know, I used to collect cars. I used to collect and I say that to say that the watch hobby is like when we were younger. I don't know if you either played Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever you played when you was young. The watches are like that, but just imagine that feeling times like 100.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like you hoping that you pull a fucking Charizard or some shit.
Yeah.
And then you get the call for a yellow Daytona. It's like similar feelings, but just times 100.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So for those listening, like if you wanted to know what it felt like to get a call for a watch you really wanted, it's almost like finding that rare card.
It is.
back in
That's
the
a really
day.
great way of,
You know what I'm saying?
of talking. It does make you feel almost a little childlike again.
100%.
But in like the best way.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
And that's a feeling that's fleeting as you get older.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because we got responsibilities, we got kids, we got significant others, like family shit,
Yeah.
work. it's like, when do you have fun? And then that kid-like fun that childlike fun that you mentioned is very rare.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like it's a happy, but then I feel like that childlike is almost like glee, joyful.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of that feeling when you on the block with the homies hooping and you hear the ice cream truck coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you hear the ice cream truck, like, oh, the ice cream truck coming.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, y'all remember the old school WWE joints?
Yeah, of course.
WWF?
Yes.
Bro, they got to bring them back, fam. Like that was the best.
Those were crazy.
But I thought of that because I remember that feeling when I would go to the ice cream truck and get the WWF with Ultimate Warrior on it.
Yeah,
like
with the gumballs on them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what it's all. Collect watches. I don't want to say I'm a car collector yet, but I'm really into cars.
You got the car though.
I think I have one of the cars. I would say. I have a 2024 911 Carrera 992.1 T. So for all those who know about Porsche, the T is like the driver's focus version of the 911, where it has like a lot of the driver's focus options such as sport chrono, standard, electronic slip diff. You can get rear axle steer as an option, which I have on mine, which allows the car to kind of glide left to right. And when you're going at slow speeds, a tighter turning radius. And it has a less sound deadening. So I hear more of my engine compared to someone who didn't have a T, who either had a base or like a 4S didn't like option that or whatnot. So it's I honestly.
That's next.
No, I have that.
No, I say you have that, but like.
Oh, so next I think
getting into like the collecting.
I think next would be like
a
GTS.
Yeah.
Obviously a GT3, down the road, but I'm not a track person. Like I think the track is cool, but like she took me to a Porsche Experience LA for my birthday, surprised me actually. And so I drove I drove a GT3 and I drove a Turbo S back to back, 45 minutes a piece.
Wow.
I'm good. That was enough for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was, by the time I was halfway through the Turbo S, I was motion sickness.
Wow.
That's how amazingly fast these cars are for speed and handling. But he told me this is going to teach you how to drive your car better, which is very true because before that I was babying it. Because I'm in a 911. I'm babying a little bit. I'm in Houston. I'm like, but once I went to LA, what? Man, I'm on I-10 out. Driving the speed limit out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yes. So it's I think that's something, a hobby that I'm getting in that community as well. Like everyone that I've met that drives 911s, are into watches. Yeah. And most of them have asked me about watches. You know what I mean? So my man's came up one time, he had a GT3, but he was asking me about Rolex. Yeah. And I'm like, shit, I want to talk about your GT3. And it's just cool because it goes back to bringing people together. Like where I am now, I by happenstance met a doctor in Houston who drives a 911 as well. We were driving to get, to the gym. Me and her was going to the gym. And I look to the left, I see a 911 with Kappa tags. I'm like, oh, he black, for sure. So, HBCU probably as well. So we pull up at the light, and when we in rooms together and it's just us, we got the slight head nod. Yes. So we put up at the light together. He looked, and he was like, I with it, what I mean, without saying it, what I mean. So fast forward, I'm on YouTube looking at, a video of 911s. But this is after I got it, just looking on YouTube, and I saw I got a comment, and I was like, he looked familiar, I think and I searched for him on Instagram. I don't know weird, but like his name was the same on Instagram, so I messaged him like, yo, you in Houston? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yo, that was me in the white 911. He's like, yo, for real? Fast forward, exchange numbers. He's like, I'm in a group of black men who drive Porsche and have 911s. Wow. I didn't know this community existed. Wow. Like, not like in my area, you know what I mean? Sure, I know it's people, black men that drive 911s around, but I didn't know that they was where I was at. Yeah. So next thing you know, I'm in this, group chat with 6 of us, I think 4 911s and a Cayman 718, and then one has a turbo, Taycan Turbo S, which is the EV version, but the fast one. And so we are at the park the other couple weeks ago, about to go on a walk at the trail. And I was like, hey, what cars do y'all got? Because nobody posted their car. I just know y'all got Porsche. Everybody's posting their cars, including myself. I'm looking in the group. It's a guy that posts his car, right? I swear to God, I look up from my phone. He is riding past at the park. Wow. I'm like, that got to be him. Because I saw the side of his. I was like, I messaged him like, yo, you at the park? He like, yeah. I'm like, yo, I'm up here with my lady. Like, pull up on me. He pulls up. Next thing you know, we talk for like an hour and a half, like just chopping it up. Wow. Come to find out, we work at the same company. Wow. Not only the same company, in the same building, on the same floor, a wall separated us.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And he's cool as hell, cool as he pulled up. Yo, this is the coolest shit ever. He pulled up in 992 all black 4S with the red interior, like red interior, crazy, right? With the arrow kit. But the freshest and coolest part, he had his 2-year-old son in the back.
Wow.
Porsche makes a car seat, not for a 911. So if you need a car seat, they do make them. Wow. But I just thought that was so dope to see him with his son in a 911, and his son is all over the car having fun. Like we just chopping it up. Like that was cool to see that. Oh man, he got experience. He experiences a 911 at 2 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, I got him. I was 38. Now I thought that was amazing. That blew my mind. Like that made our day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And just like the watch community, just like that, it brings people together that you would never have. I would have never knew he worked in my building across the hall essentially if it wasn't for a vehicle.
Yeah,
you know, it's the same with watches.
It is.
You know, so it's pretty cool, man.
Man, this has been amazing, Karlos. And I think you really brought it home for us in terms of, you know, identifying the glue about what makes this hobby of ours so special in this community.
It's amazing.
You know, thinking about like us being able to meet one another and build a friendship that we have through CP time and the podcast. Incredible. You know, me and Rashawn talk about this kind of thing all the time. And it's like, you know, all of this came by just from us like saying, yo, we should like get in front of a camera and talk about watches.
Yes.
What at the time might have seemed like the most ridiculous thing, but now we get to travel all over the country, traveling all over the world, building relationships and friendships with people like yourself, who then are able to pull up on us in our hometown.
Pulling up.
And I love it, man. I think that's the name of the episode, Pulling Up.
Pulling up.
Pulling up.
Pulling up.
Pulling
man.
up.
I love it.
Because it's cold as
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, like
It is. Yeah,
that's how you know I with y'all.
I know.
Real,
I was like,
it's
it was
cold,
20-some
bro.
degrees outside.
Dog, we was just in Chicago, and it's cold. It's colder here than it is in Chicago and Detroit.
It's crazy.
Yo, I'm like, what the is what this New York like? But you know, it's worth it, man. Like I'm so glad I pulled up, and I'm glad that y'all decided to do a watch podcast. Because
of course,
I think there are other watch podcasts out there, and not to compare, but I think when it's your people, and when it's some genuine people at that who are relatable, that anybody can walk up to you both and have a conversation, regardless of where they're from, what they look like, which I think is great. And I salute both of y'all for doing that, because not only like me being here, but just the people you've had on before me and the people you're gonna have after me, I think is amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
and I think that for y'all to have this platform, I couldn't think of two better people to be on this platform. Tomas as well, who's off camera. Like just, I mean, I met him in LA, and I'm like, as soon as I met him, he was like, yo, I heard, I'm like, oh, what's up? What's good? You know, now we tapped in. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just amazing. I encourage everyone who either wants to get into timepieces, or it could be any hobby, but let's say watches, because we're gonna watch podcasts. But like anybody who wants to get into the watch community, you should, because you're gonna meet so many amazing people. You know, like these two brothers and myself, it's very inclusive. We're very welcoming. Like,
100%.
You ain't got to go and get a two-tone Rolex 36 like I did. You know what I'm saying? You could go, you could come light, or you could just come whatever's in your budget. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. And I want to stress that. It is okay.
It is okay.
It is okay to be yourself. You know?
My man, I want to say thank you again.
My dog.
Absolute pleasure. We're going to have fun tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We outside.
For those of you watching and listening, you guys know where to find us. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the works. Now superniche.com. You can also still go to WristCheckPod.com.
Yeah.
And
maybe one day in the metaverse.
Maybe one day. We're still pulling for Zuckerberg.
Yes.
We'll see you in a week.
Hold on, I gotta say one thing real quick.
it.
So I want to say shout out to Detroit.
Shout out to Detroit. Detroit versus the world.
What up, though? Boss up and get money. I gotta do the blade dance real quick. You know what I mean? That's, everybody will see me like, I know he ain't get on there and ain't do the blade dance. You know what I mean? But I gotta say shout out to my city, because I think also without being from Detroit, I wouldn't be here as well. Because Detroit gonna teach you how to get to it.
Yep.
And it's gonna teach you how to also get along with people from other areas. Because once we rock with you, we rock with you. Like,
it's true.
It ain't what PG say. If we locked in, ain't no switching up. It's exactly like that.
Yes, it is.
So, but no, I appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all, bro. And yeah, man, we outside.
We outside.
Yes, sir.
Boss up and get money.
That's it. Deuces.
Peace.